They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but have you ever wondered what those words would be? I never thought of asking that question until I read this collection of poetry. This is the Book of Whispering in the Projection Booth. Poems by Joshua Murray Wilkinson. And when I read this book, I thought, of course! Those 1,000 words look like this, because isn't every photograph a book in fragments? Isn't collage poetry exactly what that 1,000-word book of a photograph would be? Wilkinson's collage style proves to be a perfect fit for this investigation of light, memory, and photography. As in visual art, collage poetry is a special art. It looks effortless on the page, and then you try it out and realize it's only effortless in the way that dancers make ballet look effortless. Surprising as it may be, cutting and pasting takes a very discerning eye. In this book, Wilkinson not only puts his collage talents to work, but he also makes that discerning eye one of the primary subjects of the collection. He shows us the art of seeing, and he also shows us that seeing is a lot like reading. It starts with stimuli. Things are revealed to us by light, just like words are revealed on a page. And the other part happens in our minds. We pick up fragments here and there, an array of details. And then we assemble those details into categories, things we can recognize, like rope, or fish, or trains. And seeing is also like a constant kind of questioning. Every time we open our eyes, we're asking, what's out there? And Wilkinson uses this too, asking questions that drive us further into the winding trail of the book. What of this will we remember with our hands, he writes. How many stories were you asked to bury, and which ones did you bury? As you might have guessed from just those few lines, this is also a book that's deeply about memory and loss. Memories are often described as snapshots or fragments that are collected and stored. Memory can also be described in terms of light, where forgetting is a kind of dimming process. Just like photographs age and fade, memory fades also, leaving pieces of conversations and dreams, the things that perhaps touched you most profoundly. And it's when you start thinking about memory that the lengthy title of this book becomes really intriguing. The Book of Whispering in the Projection Booth. Here you were doing all of this interesting seeing and interpreting. You were thinking you're in control, but it's really the person in the projection booth who has control over what you see, isn't it? Who's up there? I'm not sure it's you, or if it is, maybe you're up there with someone else. After all, there is whispering, and why all this whispering? Why isn't it just plain talking? Yeah, whispering sounds a little cooler, a little more mysterious, and to the untrained eye, that might seem to be what this whole book is about. Just a bunch of bits and pieces strung together to sound cool and mysterious. That's all poetry really is, isn't it? But that conclusion is deceptively easy to draw when you could get a lot more out of all of those little bits and pieces if you just worked a little harder. I'll admit, this book is not Poetry 101, but if you read carefully, you might find the extra work is worth it. That was The Book of Whispering in the Projection Booth, poems by Joshua Murray Wilkinson. See you next week on Brave Little Books.